So let's start with who I am. So I'm a full stack web developer, and I use AI maybe for 3 years, really intensive. So maybe after 2 years of AI experience, Claude Code was released, and this changed everything. So what I mean about this is that nowadays, I don't think anybody is a full stack web developer or senior full stack web developer if does not use AI. So maybe use Cursor, maybe use Claude Code, maybe use anti-gravity, but the main part is to be productive, you have to use an AI. So about me, how did I come and to this part. So I'll share with you a short story about what changed everything. I was participating in. Yes?
Sorry, can you speak a little bit louder?
Okay, now it's okay? Okay. Then I go. So yeah, I was participating maybe in the beginning of 2023 in a special boot camp in Amsterdam. So what was this boot camp? You work completely 3 months without money, no salary, no nothing. I had to travel every day, like 150 kilometers to participate. And you work also Saturday and Sunday. It was quite intensive. I was developing software for companies, and they don't pay you nothing, but you have the best training ever. So in one moment, we were like 40 different people all around the world participating in this boot camp. And in one moment, it was like somewhere in the middle. We had to deploy an application, full stack application on AWS. I was hearing for AWS, and exactly this day. So we were searching in Google. There was no AI this time. And after 4 hours, it was really difficult. We couldn't manage. So we called the senior developer over there, and we asked, okay, can you help us please to deploy this app? And he said, I don't know how to deploy it. How is this possible, And he said, listen, I'll tell you something which is really important. You don't have to know the technology and how it works in details. You only have to know that this technology exists and what is the actual technology. So this really stuck in my mind, and I'm using it till today. So for now, I just use Claude Code to do the heavy lifting, the details, the code, etc. And I know all the new technologies and how they exist. They exist, all the news, and I'm using Claude Code to do the code, and I do like the top layer, and then just checking what's going on. So about Claude Code, let's ask something. Who does not know about Claude Code? So, okay, everybody knows. So I'll skip then what is Claude Code, how to run it. But the most important part that I would like to share is that Claude Code is not only for code, but it can change and it can do totally different stuff. You can translate things, it can manage your files, and this only from terminal. So what exactly is a Claude Code? So Claude Code is super simple tool, and it's a message, tools, and a loop, while loop. So here you can see how it works. It's a while loop. So it works till the main agent say just we are ready. And it uses all different kinds of tools to do it. So you have different tools. Let's say you have like search, you have like whatever it likes, write code. So you have totally different tools about Claude Code. So these tools are used by the main agent, and this main agent has a context window. What this means, you have like 200K or 1 million context window, and we really have to manage this context window really good. So everybody knows the maximum, that crap in, crap out. So we need really good context for each iteration. So these iterations and the context are based on project memory. So, we have Claude Code MD, as everybody knows. And this Claude Code MD is file which could be handled really brief, like maximum 200 lines of code. But sometimes we have a lot of information for the project. We have architecture, you have like coding standards, you have styling and all different stuff. So somehow we have to manage this. And how we do this? So first, you have project knowledge in CloudMD file, which is for the project, and you have general Claude Code, which you store like in your user folder. And over there, it's val for all your products, for all your projects. But the CloudMD in your project will overwrite this. So I strongly suggest you to have different CloudMD files for your different projects. So here is the pattern. Also, each subdirectory of your Claude Code could have its own. So if you have, let's say, components, if you have like architecture folder or whatever you label, you can have different Claude Codes that will add additional context to Claude Code. But here comes the interesting part. So in Claude Code, you can, in this Claude MD file, you can define end command, which will import different files. This is only for best, like you structure better your documentation. What this means, so you have Claude Code, you have end docs, it imports docs. You have add architecture, it imports architecture. Add style, it imports style MDs. And this way, it also pollutes your context window. So it goes in the main agent context window. So there are few patterns that you can use to escape this. So you have this reference. So you give a description. For example, you need to use a database. Then in CloudMD, you just have an instruction. Before any DB change, read docs, Claude, DB patterns. So this gives Claude ability to load these docs only if it needs them. So this is important. So your main context window stays clean and you have like longer iterations. One interesting pattern as well is tag in MD files. So what is tag? You can have like a, let's say a database documentation, but for example, you have like how you read the database, how you read the storage, or how you like different documentations, and you don't need the whole doc for the database patterns. You need only part of it. So Claude Code can use grep tool, which really search for such tags in a file and gets only the relevant part for it. So maybe you have database docs and it gets only the tag for storage, for example.
So
and yes?
What is the path to this interface? How do you get there? Is it from the IDE or?
Oh, this interface? Yeah. I'll explain later. So this is like a nice representation there. I'll explain. This is something new. It's maybe 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago released. So this is only a simple MD file. You can see it here, by the way. Thanks for the question. Yeah, so you can see how an MD file looks like. And here you have, for example, injections. This is the direct injection. When you say end docs architecture, it automatically loads them. And you have quotes, then it just gets them based on instructions. Or, like here are the tags. So,
Can you zoom a bit?
I don't think so. So, maybe I can try, let's say. Yeah. But the most important part, you just have to know it exists, and then research for this. So the best part is just know it exists. So yeah, this is how it looks like. So when Claude Code do the grep, this is like just simple instructions. Looks like Claude MD, and then it's a simple one, and then you do grep docs db, and it will search in database MD only the db parts that are tagged. Yeah. So how this pattern is called? It's called progressive disclosure, which means that Claude gets only relevant information about the task it do now. So this is the pattern, and these are like the three possible ways you can do it. Just inject everything in the context, or let Claude do it when it likes. So yeah, this is eager vs lazy loading or progressive disclosure patterns. So this is how it looks like. The example. So next, which is also an important thing, are skills. So what are skills? So skills right now are together with slash commands. They are united from version 2, I think, to 12. And now, because they decided that it's like one pattern, so the skill could be executed by Claude Code, or just run as a slash command. So skills are just markdown files, text files. Right now they have like YAML format, so you can describe some different options, like a model that can be used for the skill. But of course you can research this one. The most interesting part about skills is that you can run them like a slash command with arguments. So for example, I did a skill to just update documentation of my whole database after changes. And what it do, it just research everything, check my documentation, previous documentation, and then it asks, okay, I saw this patterns, which patterns do you want to update? Because maybe some changes are temporary. And then I just say, let's say A, B, and C patterns, and it updates my documentation. Of course, this could be done automatically, but we can just check it later. So other important part of skills are that in this skill you can include scripts. So I'll give you like an example how I use a skill, which is not just a simple text file. So as you know, like Claude Code is not really good in translating to different languages. So I needed to translate from English to Bulgarian automatically in the website. So I was doing a Bulgarian website and I needed translations for a lot of stuff. So ChatGPT was much better in translations. So I decided to use an API. So this skill was you translate from English, Dutch to Bulgarian. So it calls the API of OpenAI, gives the text, get the translations back. So that was like a skill. You don't use like built-in Claude translations, but use OpenAI translations. So this is what is really important in the skills, that they can run their own scripts, like code execution. And this is how a skill as a skill file looks like. It's an MD file, and you have the name, you have the description, which is really important because based on this, Claude will call it. So, and you have allowed tools. So maybe you want only to have read, maybe you want to have write, maybe search. So, and this is the skill, and down there is the skill itself. But of course you can ask Claude to write it for you. So, some skills like that I told you can be run after the code is executed. So you have then hooks. And what are these hooks? Every time Claude Code runs something, complete a task, it can call a hook. Also, it can call it in the beginning, so do some operations. So for example, the skill that I told you to update my database, you just can run it after like a big task is done, and it automatically updates the documentation. Mostly I use it for TSC. This is like a TypeScript check. So it checks my code is okay. So these are like hooks, and you have pre to use, post to use, so it's top. It's a little bit technical, but it's really useful for different tasks. And now we come to the interesting part. So, as you know, Claude Code is an agentic frame. So you have the main agent context which runs, and after you have 200 different tokens inside, it starts losing idea what's going on. you cannot pass more. So the whole chat is compressed, summarized, and you have to start from the beginning. So it's not so quality. So how you use it? So Claude Code can start custom agents, and these custom agents, they have their own context window. So the agent goes, do some stuff, and then it just returns the result. So for example, it can go, iterate, search, research documentation, and then returns, okay, you need only this and this, and only this answer comes back in the context. So if you have more different agents, you can have like a really clean main window where the main task is done. So what is new right now in these custom agents that we define, we can assign them skills to them. So this sub-agent has its own skills, and it's like a small Claude Code, and then it returns only the result, which is a really interesting pattern. I have no idea where it can come, but people are like really have great fantasy, so they can adjust things and create new things. So this is like own tools, own skills, and something that was presented like soon, quite new in 2026, it's agent teams. So what are agent teams? So agent teams, as I said before, you can see this is like a standard pattern, which was before. So you have the main context, main agent, and then it was asking different agents to do some stuff, and then agents just return the answer. But the new thing is in these agent teams, this leader and these agents, they work on all information that, and they work in synchron. So they know, each agent knows what the other agents do. So I'll show you how it works. Yeah, so how it works. So we press simulate, and then you see this is the main agent, and then you see how agents communicate with each other, and then the task is done. So this is something new.
That is called democratizing AI operation.
Yeah, so I will run it again. So I can also explain the pattern. So before these agent teams, here the main agent was asking this agent, it returns. This agent, it returns. But for example, if this agent works on the front end, this agent works on the back end, they don't know nothing for each other. But right now, when you run agent team, these agents also talk with themselves. Actually, this is a table in the middle where they all store the information. So team leader, each agent know exactly what all of them do. This way, there are no bad surprises. So for example, let's say on the front end, I do an API, and then on the back end, maybe I expect, I don't know, some other stuff like RPC or something like this. So they all know what's going on, or GraphQL, let's say. So yeah. So these are agent teams and how they work. So you have multiple Claude instances working. Of course, this is tokens. You have to know this costs money. Yeah, but sometimes it's really fast. So you have the team lead and teammates. So team lead runs the teammates and say, okay, I need 4 agents for this work. They know for each other. And then when an agent is done, the team lead can just shut down them one by one when it's ready. So here is, you can see agents communicate directly with each other, which in the previous just normal sub-agents is not the case. But you know, sometimes it's good to have only sub-agents, sometimes it's good to have agent teams, but it's a new option, so you can just choose which one you like. So it's a really powerful tip for large migrations. So if you want to migrate code and you know, all agents know what the other is do, what new technology they use. So it's a really cool feature about this. Yeah.
Just to ask you something, does the leader decide which team members to include?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I will show you how it works. It's really simple. So you have to do in Claude settings, just Claude Code experimental agent team 1. So this way Claude Code can just run agents. And then you do a simple prompt and you say, okay, you can spawn 3 agents to do this task or 4 agents to do this task, and it will start them. Not all the time is beneficial to have like these agents. Maybe they just spend more tokens, but for different cases, you just have this. And then each agent just do its job, and then the teammates say, okay, you're done, you can shut down. For example, front-end implementation is done, we need only backend, we need database, then the 2 agents other works. And then when it's done, everything is done. This is really, really good when you need parallel tasks to be done. And so what was this implementation over there? This is something new, which is called Playground plugin. So you can just run it with the / command, plugins, then go. It's an official Anthropic plugin, and it visualizes everything you need. So and then you don't have to describe. So it's really good to research because it's only 2 weeks released. And actually on this slide, so how it looks like, it's come on. Yeah, so actually this is the plugin itself. So how it looks, you can just do whatever you like. You describe everything. And then if you want to have this, you just copy the prompt down there, paste it in Claude Code, and then you have this one. So this is a really nice UI, and you can experiment with this. It really gives a visual also to Claude Code. You have 6 or 7 built-in different playground templates inside Claude, but you can also do your own, and it's a really interesting pattern that you can use. So
Sorry, do you have observed any infinity loops in this pattern?
about what?
Infinity loops in this pattern. Trying to solve a problem but cannot solve and goes in never-ending cycle.
Probably not, because this is Claude Code, and sooner or later it always ends, even if it does not finish the task, because you have context window. So probably it will just stop on some point like
You take your money.
yes. Yeah, so this is what you have to take care. This is also my point, when I said that you have to know what you are doing. So according to me, like Claude Code is totally new stack that should be mastered, because this is like super surface observation what you can do with Claude Code and what are different like important parts. But everybody should like understand it really well. Go open documentation, ask Claude, okay, explain me, what is this? What are the possibilities? What can be done? So it really will do a deep dive about each topic, but it's good to know, like just this exists. And then you start topic by topic, because the best teacher is the practice. So if you have something to do, you just go and say, okay, Claude, I really need to do it, and that's it. But it's really powerful. I observe like Anthropic did super interesting things from the beginning of 2026. They have co-working space, they have code in like UI, and you can do like amazing stuff. I'll just share with you what I'm thinking. So if you need to make SEO of your website, first they have Aura Research plugin, like for co-working. So you don't have even to know how to code. You open Anthropic co-work, and then you start doing SEO for your website. So you have topics, research, and you just can post super high quality deep research, and you don't have to the blog post, and you don't have to just write them. It's super easy nowadays, and it will track all the internal links, all the like patterns that are good for SEO. So you just need imagination nowadays, I think, how to use it. So it can handle a lot, this Claude Code. So these were like really interesting part that I wanted to just share with you. So you just that know that exists. So again, skills really important. You can just give different skills, and also you have scripts in them, which was one really important pattern, just to say it. Hooks, this is what you like to run, like a simple hook, but that maybe everybody knows, is like when a task is done, because sometimes you wait 8 minutes and you have a ring. And if you do something else, you know that is finished. So hooks are important, and you can implement them also in a sub-agent. You have custom agents that saves your context window. You have agent teams that run in parallel that you saw already. And you have this playground plugin, which gives you nice and super beautiful interface visualization when you work over a project. So it's really good to use it. Actually, it's new. I still use it only today, I will admit. But so many nice things are coming. And what I would like to share is that recently I already don't write code, but review it, and it's super different pattern that everybody has to master. I like Claude Code because it's totally customizable. So you can do whatever just you like, and it's just super good interface. I use it in the terminal. Nowadays you can use it even from app that is desktop app or from your phone, but depends. I use it in VS Code. By the way, these slides is some kind of website that is done like today for this presentation, 100%, like I just describe what I would like. I don't know, even I know only the technology that it uses React, Vite, and that's it. This is how it works about Claude Code. So
I have a question about the playground. Did the Claude Code figure out how to make all of the agents, or you configured them like in the playground plugin?
Claude Code did it. I said, listen, I need this one, and it should be such a visualization. You have to research the pattern about agent teams, and then you have it. So it's really interesting because it can do everything for you. You can use it even for learning. You have visual concepts all around. For example, if I want to do this, and then you just click different part of the screen. It's a really nice UI, actually. So But this UI also probably it uses, there is a plugin which is front-end design or skill, let's
They
say.
have a whole folder of skills nowadays.
Yeah. So yeah, and then it can just design for you. It's really new. You can just check the documentation. It's amazing one, but yeah, depends of the case, you know. So it's
I have one more question
Yeah.
about the agents. Have you noticed, do they use the MCPs that you have allowed? For example, if you have allowed context 7, will they know to ask for context there? The agents?
I use it every day, so they don't. Yeah, you have to do it in Claude Code, like really mark about, and it's not always. So usually I just say, okay, use context 7, but they do research. So sometimes, like let's say Claude Code knows everything about documentation of Claude Code, but for other no. And sometimes, yeah, nowadays it's the like changes are every day. And also, like we as a developers use Claude Code, but Anthropic use Claude Code. Everybody use it. So now, like changes, even breaking changes, like in Vercel, are every 4 months. So we definitely need context 7, but it's not. So, yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
What is context 7?
So yeah, context 7 is a website. It's a website actually, but also have an MCP server that has the latest documentation for every package that is, let's, important package. And even if you use something that is not really, say, popular, you can just go on the website and ask for like renew the pattern, and it will renew. Probably Cloud Code also can do it for you. So it has like latest documentation for each package. Yeah.
I had a question about the code MV. So you basically said that you're referencing different files within like the repository that you're in, like because the Claude Code is over, the Code MD is obviously referring to the repository, and there was research done recently that you should actually not be pointing Claude to files in the code MD, but you should be giving it pointers for code it should write. So basically give it do's and don'ts. Have you tried that already? And your recommendation is like doing documentation, not pointers to how to write code.
Yeah, actually, I admit I still didn't use this pattern. Actually, I'll try it. I hear for the first time about that. But yeah, I use like, come on.
Sorry, can you repeat the pattern you were asking for?
So basically, what I read and what my team is personally practicing is we don't reference documentation, we don't reference like MD files or anything. We say do's and don'ts because Claude has amazing tools. Like most of its use is obviously to calling that is super good at finding out exactly what it needs. So you don't actually need to point it to the file because this pollutes the context even more. Like if you have a massive code MD, you said like no more than 200 lines, right?
Yeah.
But even pointing at the files, this makes it load, even with the lazy load, it makes it load this in the context anyway. So I was just wondering, is this general recommendation or is it something you know works better?
I will say why it worked for me. Yeah. Because let's say I have database documentation that is like for the database part, I have also examples inside. Let's say I have like a Vercel do's and don'ts, how it should be. I also have examples. And for example, when it goes there, it sees the example itself and know exactly how to do it because it's a pattern, of course. The context is much bigger, but it just chooses what it needs for the current like task. That's yeah.
So basically, in the files you're referencing, that's where you're doing the do's and don'ts, not the.
Yeah, exactly. But just.
It's referencing internal documentation that Claude cannot access with it.
Yeah, but.
Tools. Is that correct?
But if you reference with add, then it will automatically add the whole file inside. So if you have, let's say, 10 subdocument documents about like different things that you have to document, and then it will automatically load all this. So this pattern is only should be done when you really want this part to be there, like all doc file to be there, then it will get it. But the best part, the easy way is this way with quotes. If you have like smaller DB patterns, if it's let's say 200 lines, then it goes, takes this file DB patterns. But if you have, let's say, about database, you have like 2000 lines, then this pattern already is not so good, because then it will get another 2000 lines of code, and then you use these tags. So exactly what parts of this DB is in the tag. So this is like, then it gets only the part that you need, let's say storage, how it's used or how authentication is done, let's say some tables, and then it notes exactly the context. So yeah, this is, yeah.
I have similar comment to make about the NCP servers that we discussed now. They work, and
Yeah.
there is obviously why we are using them, but they take precious space in the context, and also they run a server at the background, and I'm not fan of both.
Yeah, exactly. So I use mostly 2 to 3 different MCP servers, and they can be disabled. So when, for example, I know I want to work like on a front end, I disable Playwright MCP server, and they just don't take context. And usually context 7 is always on, so you can read the latest documentation. But you can achieve like kind of MCPs with skills, because what I missed for skills, each skill has only the description that goes in a Claude context window. So maybe it's 2 lines, 3 lines, and then you can have a skill that fetch proper documentation or
From Figma or whatever.
yeah, exactly.
I don't have a question. I want to continue with the previous question. Before, yeah, there was a problem with many MCPs because they took too much context, but Anthropic launched 2.2 2 months ago, which is special logic that finds which MCP tool you need at the moment, so you don't predefine